Now let's look at the inverse function. We know that exponential and logarithm, they're inverse function, right? We introduced this idea at the beginning of Friday. So now we're gonna rewrite the equation to make x as the subject. So basically it's like the basic skills that we swap x and y. So if y equal to this guy, we want to make x as a subject. How can we do that? Same thing, we regard this as a whole thing, all right, a whole number. Then 2 something plus 3 equal to y. Therefore, both sides I take away 3. So I get y minus 3. So this side I get log 2 ex. And then both sides divided by 2, right? Remember that thing? It's the algebra thing. Okay, so now if I want to find the x value, x, so it would equal log, it basically means logarithm to convert into the exponential, right? So x would be e to the power of y minus 3 over 2. There you go. This question is to find so let's say the domain belongs to 1 to infinity. And then we're going to find this inverse function. Remember how we do with the inverse function? We swap x and y, right? We swap x and y. So basically the same skill as what we did just now. We swap x and y, therefore we make y as a subject. Okay? So, let's try to find out the domain and range for the original function first. Because we need to find that in order to find the domain and range for inverse function, right? And then we put the original domain would be the range of inverse function, right? So that's what we did before. Okay, so let's try to find out the domain and the range for this one. Domain is given to you, all right? However, if the domain doesn't give, if you don't have the domain in the question, you still can find out the domain is 1 to infinity. Why is that? Because in the bracket, this guy is always bigger than 0. So x minus 1 is always bigger than 0. Therefore, we can solve inequality. X minus 1 bigger than 0. Therefore, x bigger than 1. See, same, the domain is the same. Even if they don't give you the domain, you can still work out the domain on your own. The only thing we need to know is that this one is bigger than 0. Can we write it down on your notebook? So log something, let's say x. X must be bigger than 0, not even equal. Okay? If you want to know why, that's easy for you to explain, because this x, it basically, if you transform to the exponential form, x equal to e to the power of 2. And we know this one, all right, so this is x, right? No matter what, it's something like, go like this way. This is a number. So this is the basic one of exponential. So which means it will never be below or touch s-axis. It's always bigger than 0. Therefore, this guy must be bigger than 0. So therefore, this one must be bigger than 0. So you can find the domain. How about the range for this one? How do we find the range? Find the range, we sketch it, right? Can we sketch this one? That's what we learned last Friday. You can use your CAS to check the graph. So the graph would be, so you're not going to label it, but we know this graph is something like this. Yeah. So now you just translate 1 unit to the right, and then you translate some unit up, but no matter what, it will keep going to infinity. Okay? The domain, the range? 30. Now we know domain range, all right? It's real number. Okay, so, which means we already find out the inverse domain and range because you just swap them. Now, how do we find the inverse function? For inverse, we swap x and y. Therefore, x equal to 2 log e, y minus 1 plus 3. And we just need to make y as a subject. So that will be same skew as what you did just now. Can you guys have a go on this one? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, we swap x and y already, and we're going to make y as the subject. So same thing as what we did just now. As take away 3 divided by 2, you will get log e y minus 1, yeah? And then, I want to find out y value. So we know that y minus 1 equal to e to the power of x minus 3 over 2. Alright, y equal to the whole thing plus 1. There you go. So you need to write, therefore, inverse function equal to this one. And the domain of it
Is the range of
equal to R. Okay, and then the range of it equal to 1 infinity. There you go.